It's all Raw. Raw old school. 34 people in the roster. So this is like an old school Raw. This is how Raw would have been like when I was a kid. I only put people in here. Obviously that would have been around in that time. So I'm gonna run through the roster with you guys and kind of show you who we got. We got Batista. Beth Phoenix is the women's champion, which would have been at the time. We got Big Show, Bobby Lashley, Booker T, the Brian Kendrick, Brock Lesnar, Christian, Eddie Guerrero, Edge, Jeff Hardy, John Cena, Kane, Kevin Nash, Kurt Angle, Lita, Mark Henry, Matt Hardy, Mickey James, The Miz, Molly Holly, Psychosis, Randy Orton, Rey Mysterio, Ric Flair, Roddy Piper, Shane McMahon, Shawn Michaels, and Shelton Benjamin, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Triple H, Trish Stratus, Undertaker, and X-Pac. So, and I kind of went with who... There's only 3 championships, as you saw. There's Triple H, World Heavyweight Champion, 2004 through like 2011. He had like a lot of World Championship runs. Steve Austin wasn't really in WWE around the 2004-2008 time frame as like a competitor, but he was in the WWE 2003 through 2008. He was kind of like a competitor. 2002 Taker, obviously I said the time frame 2003 to 2008, so he would have been off the American Badass gimmick at that time. But I just went with 02 Taker because it was the closest to the start of the era that I was trying to look for. I don't have The Rock in here because The Rock wasn't really active during this time. He was more out making movies. X-Pac, I didn't want to cut the roster too short, and I knew he had a couple of matches in this era. They weren't really big ones, but they were matches. Batista was really, this is the era they had the big uprising. 2004, I think he made his debut. 2003, he made his debut. 2004, Evolution, which is where his career really took off, and then the rest is spoken for already. Beth Phoenix, one of the best women's champions of that era. Big Show was tag team champions with Kane around this time. The reason I didn't make the tag team titles is because I didn't feel like downloading a bunch of people from that era and making a bunch of different tag teams, so there's that. We got Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley was young. He just started coming up again right around this time. Booker T, King Booker, was the gimmick he was rocking around this time. Brian Kendrick, yeah, he didn't come in until later on, like 2006, 2008 era, but I mean, he was still kind of in the time frame that we're pushing for. Brock Lesnar had just left to go to like the NFL in 2003, 2004. Came back after a really long hiatus from the WWE in like 2012, 2011. Which is kind of like the time frame I'm kind of ending the era at. Christian, we all know Christian is now in AEW, right along with Big Show. However, these two were around still yet in the era, so we're including it. Obviously, Eddie Guerrero, Edge, they go without saying. Jeff Hardy's still around to this day. John Cena was another popular name around the time, so was Kane. Kevin Nash, again, was there, but he kind of left as well. He was kind of back and forth between that. Kurt Angle didn't leave WWE till like 06, 07. Lita is still in contact with WWE and good ties with them till this day. Mark Henry, obviously now in AEW. Matt Hardy, Mickey James, Miz. Miz didn't start till roughly... Well, Miz didn't glow up till like roughly 2008, but he was there through like 2009, 2010, and through on. Mighty Molly, or Molly Holly, her stunts with the Hurricane and stuff like that, and as a singles competitor. Psychosis, oh God, that face. One half of Mexicools. Obviously, they were a duo, and then a trio, and then a duo. Randy Orton was really big around this time as well. Rey Mysterio, Ric Flair, Roddy Piper. Piper made one-off appearances around this time and had a couple of matches, but nothing really too crazy. Shane O'Mac, he had that rivalry with Kane around this time in the ambulance match, and Kane electrocuted Shane's jugular area. Shawn Michaels, Shelton Benjamin. Yeah. So, like I said, most of these guys were right around the same time frame that we're pushing for. With that being said, oh, we don't have any pay-per-views set up, so it's literally just going to be Raw. I didn't really think about this before I started the stream. We could actually go set up some pay-per-views now. This time, like around this time, they were more, you know, this was more like their Great American Bash and Backlash and, you know, all the old pay-per-views like SummerSlam. We still had One Night Stand. We had Elimination Chamber was called something else. It wasn't called Elimination Chamber. It was called like November to Remember or something like that. No, No Way Out is what it was called. It was No Way Out. Which, that's not till like 2 months before Mania. This would have been like what Backlash is now. Because this is May. This is a little after Mania. So this would be what their Backlash is now. No Way Out. We're gonna have to do some I wish they had like older like an older type feel to this game, like, and of course everything we do is going to be rocking old school ref and the late 90s filter. This would have been like, you know, prime, like I said, after Mania. Obviously, Raw's the only show it hosts. See what's going on this week on Raw. Triple H versus Booker T. We have a triple threat match between Shane McMahon, Psychosis, and The Miz. Roddy Piper takes on Shelton Benjamin, Big Show and Taker, Henry and Nash, Orton and Michaels versus the Hardys, Eddie Guerrero and Steve Austin, Cena and Lesnar, and Beth Phoenix and Lita. Lita picks up the win. Triple H picks up the L, actually. Shane McMahon with the win. Piper with the win. Big Show with the win. Nash, Hardys, Austin, Cena. Okay, let's see what happens next week on Raw. Goal, I'm basically going to see, so we start off the show with Triple H's World Champion Shelton Benjamin, and, okay. So basically we're going to see if Shelton Benjamin, Triple H, and Beth Phoenix can hold on to their titles for a year. Of course, every once in a while we're going to check the news to see if anybody has won a championship. Oh, Flair and Triple H. Flair wins. We're gonna sim all the way till April week 4th, and then we're gonna simulate into May, and we're gonna see if the championships have changed before May. Next time I do this video, I'll have it more well thought out. I'll go back and I'll look up some old pay-per-views that would have been around the time of that era. Get some arenas and stuff for it. Get some more superstars, and we'll have an actual active roster to play around with a little more. We are starting a new year. Let's check the news. Edge was injured. Doesn't look like we have any. Booker T won the World Heavyweight Championship back in February, and Shelton Benjamin retains. So let's take a look at the power rankings. Beth Phoenix on top of the Women's Championship. Brock still has not won a world title, nor has Kane. Flair. Benjamin is still the Intercontinental Champion, and Booker T is still the World Heavyweight Champion. Now, mind you, let's go to the week before the Backlash pay-per-view and check our championships and how they're looking at that point in time. Booker T, Shelton Benjamin, Beth Phoenix. No title matches, it looks like, on Raw. So we simulate to a year, and we're going to obviously hit the Raw after this to see what transpired. So we have Beth Phoenix versus Lita for the Women's Championship. First match kicking off Backlash. We have Shelton Benjamin versus Rey Mysterio in a non-titled match, so it looks like Shelton Benjamin is going to remain IC champion throughout the whole entire simulation. Booker T is also not defending the title. We can't do that. We gotta end this one out with a bang. We gotta end this with only a ruthless aggression. We gotta end this only the way that this era would end this story mode. We're gonna compile all of what would have been considered the top contenders of this era into one match, and we got to put the championship on the line. That's how this era would have ended it, man. That's how it would have been back in my day. None of this promo cutting, sitting back in the locker room BS. Nah, man, back in the day when I was watching it, Booker T would have been done defending against all the top guys in the business. Booker T would have done one against Ric Flair, would have done beating Shawn Michaels, would have done one against this person and that person. Booker T would have defended his title back then, just like Booker T is going to defend that title now. Against all of the top champion contenders. Of course, I left Cena out of that, but there's only so many you could fit. And this was pretty much the main title picture. So, at one point we had Triple H and Batista go back and forth. However, Bobby Lashley back in that era was never a world champion. He was only ECW champion. Let that sink in. Booker T went back and forth for a while with Triple H as well. Booker T went back and forth with Shawn Michaels. Kane went back and forth with Triple H and Shawn Michaels and Ric Flair and Batista. Batista and Henry had a rivalry. Lashley and Henry had a rivalry. Shawn Michaels and Booker T and Ric Flair had rivalries with each other. Every single one of these men tied into at least one title rivalry back in the day, which is why I did that match, and we're gonna watch it. It looks like Shelton Benjamin might be the only one that lasted a whole year with his title. It's a Backlash. This is the month after WrestleMania. We starting a new year in the universe mode. Who is getting? Lita is the new women's champion. Would Shelton Benjamin be retaining the title if he defended against Rey Mysterio? No, he would not. We're gonna watch this one, boys. We're not simulating this one. This one's going to be too damn good to simulate. We watching this. As you see, yeah, it shows my controller on the arm of Triple H, but I am not controlling Triple H. That would be only if my controller icon was on the chest. Who we got first? Oh, I missed this Triple H, bruh. I missed this Triple H. I don't want the suit Triple H no more. Take the suit Triple H away. Yeah, take the suit Triple H away. Bring back this Triple H. Bring back the Triple H that you knew better than to mess with. 'Cause if you did, you'd get pounded up. I can pinpoint what point of the song it's at too right now. The beat's about to drop. And boom, beat came back. Go on to the next person, man. The nostalgia's killing me. Here we go with Batista. Like I said, those two back then, man, if they weren't teaming with each other, they were putting on one hell of a match for everybody else to watch, to follow after. And there's Bobby Lashley. Shout out to my boy Phoenix Nitro. I watch him on YouTube all the time. Bobby Lashley, freak Bobby if you're nasty. Here comes Kane. Kane back then did not have the mask, nor the singlet, nor the glove, really. Kane was bald and didn't really rock that attire. But hey, we gonna do what we gonna do with this. Like I said, next time it'll be a little more accurate to the era I'm trying to portray. Here comes the Nature Boy. I believe this is the man that is hell bent on destruction. It sure is. Here we go. Time to watch these 8 men battle in a ladder match for the World Heavyweight Championship. World Heavyweight Champion Booker T is defending, obviously. Triple H started off this universe simulation as the World Heavyweight Champion. Freak Bobby if you're nasty, grabbing a ladder. Henry going outside the ring. Suplex by Booker T to Shawn Michaels. Shin breaker by Bobby Lashley. Some sort of spine buster by Batista. Michaels and Booker T, sorry, rather going outside the ring, doing their own little thing. Triple H and Ric Flair, the protege, the mentor. Batista and Henry, I talked about them two having a rivalry back then. Kane and Batista. Kane and Evolution, they had a rivalry. Batista turned on Evolution. I was going to put Randy Orton in place of Bobby Lashley, because at this point in time, Orton was like the youngest champion, and Lashley wasn't really in the WWE until like late 2005, 2006. But then I'd have had all four members of Evolution in here, and it would have just been like an 8-man tag team match, basically. Because it'd have been Triple H, Batista, Ric Flair, Randy Orton versus Shawn Michaels, Booker T, Kane, and Mark Henry. It just basically would have been an 8-man tag team match, and that wouldn't have been as fun. I mean, granted, Evolution would have been fighting each other too, but I just figured this is a little more fun. Look at Mark Henry climbing the ladder, but Bobby Lashley making this man go down. Trio Woe. Vintage Ric Flair with the boot down in the corner and the Woe. Shawn, you're Shawn Michaels is glitching out over here, guys. Overselling that punch he took from Ric Flair. I don't know if y'all knew this, but that match between Hogan and Shawn Michaels, that was not kayfabe. That was actually real. Shawn Michaels hated Hulk Hogan and did not want to work with him so bad, to the point where he just started overselling everything. He didn't even want to be in that match. He threw that match out. He wanted to make Hogan look like he was ass, because he knew the match, and it, like, I don't know how to really explain it, but like, Shawn Michaels knew that the match was going to be bad, so he tried to throw it out and make it worse, but really he made it better by overselling. Batista's on top of this. Is Batista gonna win the World Heavyweight Championship? Bobby Lashley following him up to the top. They're in a striking battle. Both men, since leaving WWE and going their separate ways, have been in MMA. Kane trying to push the ladder down. Bobby Lashley gets punched down by Batista. Shawn Michaels trying to work on Batista. I think at one point, Shawn Michaels and Kane, if I remember right, actually teamed up against two members of Evolution. I think it was Randy and Flair, or maybe it was Triple H and Orton. I can't remember. But other than that, I remember it was Shawn Michaels and Kane versus two members of Evolution. I believe it was Triple H and another member, because I believe Flair was on the outside. Either way, so then that, I think, ensued the Katie Vick storyline, which, if you all don't know, Triple H was in his birthday suit, and there was a mannequin in a coffin, was resembled to look like Katie Vick, who I believe at the time was a lover of Kane. And I believe storyline has it was kayfabe, she died in real life or something like that. And there was a mannequin to look like her in a coffin. And Triple H was in his birthday suit in a Kane mask, loving all up on Katie Vick, the mannequin of Katie Vick. So if y'all don't remember that storyline and y'all have been wrestling fans for years, man, don't talk to me. If y'all don't remember the Katie Vick storyline and where Kane was framed for it, but it was clearly Triple H, man, that it's just nuts. Yeah, bodies fly everywhere. Lashley, I believe, is outside the ring by the ladder. That's where Flair's going. Booker T's on the outside. Triple H is on the outside. Henry's now on the outside. Batista's on the outside. Shawn Michaels and Triple H also had one hell of a rivalry. Best friends, bitter enemies. Going back to the 2K15 2K showcase. Booker T, he's looking at that ladder, giving it a second thought, maybe. Throwing big boy Mark out of the ring. They're back to that King Booker, except for when he used to do that pose, it wasn't the pointer finger, it was the pinky. I remember that. You know, all hail King Booker. Queen Sharmell, him and Bobby Lashley had a feud back and forth too, I believe, once Booker T hit SmackDown and became world champion. Just Finley and some other dude was in Booker T's quote-unquote King's Court. That was Booker T who kissed the royal feet. Lashley and Batista again on top of the ladder. This time it's Booker T glitching out. Batista. Almost at 2 rungs left. Oh my god. Shawn Michaels with the neck breaker off the top of the ladder. One rung left to go. And Shawn Michaels leaves the Ruthless Aggression era as the World Heavyweight Champion. We don't really need to see the rest of the video, guys. So yeah, with that being said, we're gonna see how the rest of these matches transpire. Flair ends up picking up a huge victory over Brock Lesnar, and Cena lost to Bobby Lashley, who again had a rivalry back in the day. Well, that's it for that video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. As always, be kind to one another. Pray, keep God in your thoughts, and overall, just stay safe out there, guys. Peace.